Thank you.
All right, ready?
John?
All right, excellent. All right, good evening, everybody. I'd like to call to order a regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Goshen Central School District being held on Monday, December 2nd, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. in the District Administration Building and live streamed on YouTube.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, moving on, we don't have any sign up privilege floor, so straight into the President's report. Just a couple of quick points. Just want to say good luck to all our student performers as we're moving into our performance season. Lots of exciting performances coming up throughout all the buildings, so go check it out, community. There's always a lot of great stuff to see out there. Tonight, we all have our Chromebooks out. We're starting our paperless board meetings, so thank you for tech support tonight. And when you enter the boardroom over there, there's actually a QR code that you can scan, and also up here in the front, next to Maureen, QR code to just get all the paperless documents. So just a couple of points from me. All right, moving on to our student representative report. Jessica Scaro.
Thank you. Like Mr. Loftus said, we have many events in the arts coming up, such as the choral, band, and orchestra concerts for the middle school and high school. At the high school tomorrow will be the band and orchestra concert, and a choral concert will be held on December 9th. At the middle school, concerts will be held on the 4th for band and on the 11th for chorus and orchestra. Also on December 9th, the 5-week progress report ends for JHS and C Sharper, so be sure to turn in all work. And there will also be half days for parent-teacher conferences on the 13th and 16th. As of right now, there are no updates for GIS. And at SAS, their toiletry drive has just finished. Next week, SAS will be holding their holiday boutique for students to buy gifts. And volunteers are still needed, so make sure to look in your emails for the sign-up. Thank you. Have a good evening.
All right, thank you, Francesca. Do we have any board member committee reports or legislative updates from any members of the board? Policy committee keeps on meeting. All right, very good. There are a few policies noted here on the agenda this evening. You could take a look at those. We'll be reading those later as presented, so let's take a look and see what we have here. So moving on to our next item, our superintendent's report, Dr. Curtis Coates.
Great, thank you, Mr. Loftus. So in your folders tonight, I did share an update on the regionalization report from the State Education Commissioner that we received just before Thanksgiving. And it was significant, I think it's worth it just having a brief conversation tonight. When the report was originally shared with us to be filled out, as I shared with the board, that it's a very lengthy report. The vast majority of the data that has to be filled in comes out of state databases. So a lot of the work seems very redundant. Last week, as you can see in this memo, the commissioner, in line with some of the conversations that she was having with the governor, has now shifted to this being an optional process. We are somewhat on our way already to finishing the report. They've pushed the date back already. The reason I bring it to the board tonight is the second piece, as you can see in the memo, discusses whether we're going to opt out or not. We would need to do so in writing in collaboration and consultation with the board. In this report, as I shared with you, there's a lot of academic performance data. There is information on reputation, there's information on finance. A lot of it, like I said, is reports that they already have and data that they already have. But they've now given us the option to make this something that we don't have to do. So it's just looking for some feedback from the board. We are in a position where we'll be prepared to move forward, but if the board doesn't see the validity or the merit in moving forward, again, I just want to leave it open to conversation.
Any objection from any board members to file the report? No.
There's no negative possible outcome by filing it versus.
That's an impossible question to answer, whether you either say yes or no to that. Could they potentially say, well, this district didn't file it, so therefore we're not going to apply this aid formula to them? I hate to say that that's a possibility, but it certainly is. On the flip side, this is many, my personal opinion, many hours of wasted time on administrators' behalf of data that they already have. It's not like we're not looking regularly at our academic performance data. It's not like we're not looking regularly at our financial and transportation data. This is information that we always reflect on a regular basis, and the state already has it. So on an administrative level, it feels very much like an exercise in futility. Right. So then we will be prepared to move forward then. The next piece I just wanted to give a reminder to the community on our district website now, we have posted all of the presentations that were given both by the district and the village on the Erie Street Park vote. It's actually right in the middle of the district webpage. There's a landing spot there. As a reminder, we have our community vote coming up on whether that property should be transferred over to the village. There are links to each of the presentations that were given, and I just invite any community member that has any questions, please feel free to email us or call us. We just want good and accurate information to be out to the community, so that if people choose, and it's not just restricted to village residents, it's everyone that is a district resident has the opportunity to weigh in on this, to make sure that they have all the information to make an informed vote. But again, all that information is now on the district website. It's in the middle of the district page and a specific landing spot. Last but not least, before we have our short budget presentation tonight, I'd like to introduce an attendee with us, Mr. Thomas Meany. Thomas will be taking over in the second semester for Mr. Isaacs, who will be retiring mid-year. And Thomas, I'll give you an opportunity just to come up and introduce yourself to the board.
Thank you, Dr. Coates. I just want to say thank you guys so much for the opportunity to be here. I'm really excited to start and get involved in my professional teaching career. I have been doing a leave replacement in Valley Central Schools right now, but as that's wrapping up, obviously, I need to take that next step, and I'm really excited to be here. I hope I can do everyone here proud.
Thank you, Thomas. So last in my report is a collaborative effort here with Ms. Van Put-Lamoran in concert with our readopted budget calendar as we've moved up many of the dates. Ms. Lamoran has shared, and it is in your folder as well, a spreadsheet of additional budget items that have been requested by district administrators and building principals. I'm going to turn it over to her now just to review what's in there, and we can of course answer any questions on that.
So I wasn't planning to go through each line item, but if you have any questions regarding the items that are listed here, I do have them here as per building and their requests. And I do have a couple of notes on the bottom where we do have a large number of incoming special ed students, again, for the 25-26 school year. So these are estimated services that we may need to increase for that purpose. It is not definite yet because the meetings haven't occurred, but just to kind of put a number in there, that's what I was working towards now. We also have some items for transportation. We did take the buses out of the budget this year. They are no longer purchased with cash, so we would have to put those up as propositions, and they would have to be voter approved, and we would have to be borrowings for those. And right now, these are just items that are for consideration. Of course, it all boils down to whether or not we have enough revenue to offset these requests. If we have needs that have to be met by students, that's another story. We have to make a budget for the teachers that are needed and whatnot, for the services for the students. So I think we need to, is there any questions?
No, again, so this is very early in the budget process. I think it's worthy at this point to just mention we've been awaiting from the state, from the Rockefeller Institute, their report on their foundation aid study. It was literally just released this afternoon. I just shared it with the board. I'm sure none of you have really had an opportunity to look at it at all yet. This will certainly dictate in large what we may or may not receive in terms of additional foundation aid or reductions in foundation aid. One thing to keep in mind, you'll see in that report, there's a whole list in the executive summary of recommendations from this study. This now has to go to the legislature and the governor for them to negotiate what will or will not be adopted by the state either this year or over a period of time. Translating that into the document in front of you, this will allow us to make educated decisions based on priority, what some of the recommendations or the requests have been from both our principals and our district administrators at the same time. So this is very early. This is something, like I said, that the principals and the directors have asked of us for consideration. But again, until we really know what revenue or loss of revenue that we're dealing with, it's very hard to make any final decisions based on where we stand.
I just have a couple of questions. Everything that's in here, is this for additional?
Additional.
Everything's additional. Is there anything here that's replacing that maybe grants are running out? Or this is purely additional?
Just purely additional.
So do we have needs assessments or any memos to go along with, I mean, there's a couple, but the additional security guard in the high school?
Yes, there's justification, so to speak, for in the budget requests to us. They do put in why they are requesting these different items. I just didn't put the details on here.
Can we make that available to the board?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the assistant principal at GIS is an additional AP?
Correct.
Is that what-
Yeah, because right now the one is shared between Scotchtown and.
It still says shared, so that's just a note on the
Yeah,
side.
that's, yeah.
Okay, and
Exactly.
it was just additional.
And the same with the social worker position, they share a social worker. But if we could put one in each building, that would be their request.
And then the LPNs are for 3 additional LPNs for the district?
We currently do not have any LPNs at this time, but we do have increasing needs for services, for nursing services, whether in the RN or. And that's an estimate for salary based on the going rate in the county. We do not have that as a position in our bargaining contracts yet.
We had a proposal, well, I forget if we ever ratified it, but we did discuss it at the beginning.
Potential,
Yeah.
yes.
Just if we can get that assessment, that'd be great for these positions that are added on.
The 3 buses that are noted. Those gas powered.
We're running up against the clock on being able to buy fuel powered vehicles, gas or diesel chargers. All we have for this evening, unless there are any further questions.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Coates. And moving on to our Assistant Superintendent for Business Report, Mr. Mary Beth Lambert.
I will have the financial information at the next board meeting, the month of November.
All right, thank you very much. All right, thank you. All right, and then on to our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction Personnel and Technology Report, Mr. Jason Carter.
Thank you, Mr. Loftus. Good evening, everyone. At our last board meeting, there was a request to discuss our AIS program district-wide. So we had an opportunity to meet with our administrative team today during our cabinet meeting to discuss putting together a presentation with our team tentatively for that first meeting in February. So we'll begin to work on that, to collaborate to put that presentation together, to present that to the board in the community first board meeting. Also just wanted to take a moment to wish all of our members of the music department district-wide best of luck as they enter the winter concert season. I'm sure there'll be many wonderful performances district-wide. We look forward to that. That was all important this evening.
It's possible as we get closer to February, would it be possible to share like a bullet point, pencil outline of the presentation? I know many times when the data is collected, it kind of brings up other questions. And so there might be additional data that the team's looking for that maybe we can ask those questions in advance and save a little bit of time there, if that's possible.
Sure.
Fantastic. All right, moving on then. Thank you, Mr. Carter. All right, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda. Ashley. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education accept the retirement of Laura Dubatoka, guidance counselor, effective June 30th, 2025. Ms. Dubatoka has been with the district for 20 years. Be it further resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education accepts the retirement of Anna Regina, special education teacher, effective June 30th, 2025. Ms. La Regina has been with the district for 21 years. Be it further resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the remainder of the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, good luck to our retirees and congratulations and good luck to our new hires, new appointees. Moving on, I need a motion to approve policy updates, second readings, renumbering, renaming, readoptions, and retirements. Shannon and Brett. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the second readings, renumbering, renaming, and readoptions of the policies as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to approve minutes. John, Billy. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the minutes of November 18, 2024 regular meeting. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Need a motion to accept the recommendations of the Committee of Special Education and Committee on Preschool Special Education. Brett and Ashley. Be resolved that the Board of Education hereby arranges for special education programs and services based upon the recommendations made for preschool and school-age students with disabilities by the Committee on Preschool and Special Education, CPSE, and Committee on Special Education, CSE, during the period October 23rd, 2024 through and including November 21st, 2024. Directs the district to arrange for the provisions of said special education programs and services to such preschool and school-age students with disabilities as recommended during such time period by the CPSE and CSE. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to approve overnight trip for Goshen High School art students. John, Shannon. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves an overnight trip request for Goshen High School art students to attend art museums, historical sites, and other local sites in Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey from April 24th through the 27th, 2025. Be it further resolved that the board reserves the right to cancel or reschedule any school-sponsored trip or activity in the event of any emergency condition outside of the control of the school district in its sole discretion. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Need a motion to approve the overnight trips for Goshen wrestling students. Billy, Shannon? Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the following overnight trips by the wrestling team. Larry Goodrich Memorial Tournament in Newark Valley, New York, December 6th to the 8th, 2024. Cooperstown Tournament, Cooperstown, New York, December 27th to the 29th, 2024. And the Mount Markham Tournament in West Bloomfield, New York, January 17th to 19th, 2025. Be it further resolved, the board reserves the right to cancel or reschedule any school-sponsored trip or activity in the event of any emergency condition outside of the control of the school district in its sole discretion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to approve the agreements for special education services, speech language services. John, Brett. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves entering into an agreement with Hudson Valley Speech to provide speech language services for special education students for the 2025-2026 school year and 2026-2027 school year at a rate of $120 per hour. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the superintendent of schools to execute the agreement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to approve the agreement for special education services, physical therapy services. Ashley, Billy. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves entering into an agreement with Physical Therapy Professional Care PC to provide physical therapy services for special education students for the 2024-2025 school year at a rate of $75 per 30-minute treatment session for in-home services. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the superintendent of schools to execute the agreement. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Need a motion to adopt the findings of the investigator. Where, John, Shannon? Be resolved that the Board of Education hereby adopts the findings of investigator Melissa Dyson with respect to the complaint filed by employee 120224. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, any additional privilege of the floor signups? No. All right, very good. Do we have any board member issues, comments, concerns? Very good. Then I need a motion to close the meeting. John and Brett, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? I officially call the meeting closed. Have a great night, everybody.